I honestly think it's about small moves and how those add up. I'm at this book event for Tad Stormer, A Resistance History of the United States. Great event, standing room only, tons of people wanting to hear how do we get through this chapter. And had a chance to talk to Tad, had a chance to talk to Karen Attia, who was the Washington Post columnist who got fired by Bezos for speaking her mind, and also because she's a black woman. And all these individuals who were in the middle of resistance got a chance to, go out and see this group who is holding the longest Trump protest of his administration, and they're called Flare for liberation and resistance everywhere. And they've got a tent that has been set up since last year. Talk to them, and you have all these little pieces of resistance. You have authors who are writing. You have people who are on the ground protesting. You have minds like, Karen's who are talking about it. You have veterans. I'm here with, a number of other veterans supporting all of this resistance. And they don't seem like big things. They're not massive things, but they're a group of small things coming together as pieces of resistance. And I can't tell you how important that is to have that growing amount of small resistance. If you take 74 million people plus who, chose against what is happening right now, and they all, including others that are quickly understanding the error of their ways, they all perform acts of small resistance. It's overwhelming for the small group of individuals who are trying to suppress and oppress the citizens of this country and human beings in general. And so it's small things. It's, if you're a super small creator and you're watching this and you don't have a ton of people following you, make a piece of content. Push something out about an issue that really matters to you, that is happening right now, or an event, and just push it out there. You have a pool that you can cause a ripple in. And my pool right now, in some spaces, may be bigger. And I'm going to try to cause those ripples so that people understand what is happening and can do something about it. But it's not going to reach everybody. But if you see it, or you see somebody else's piece of content and you say, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cause my own ripple, it becomes a tidal wave if everybody does it. Sharing things, talking about things. Community is the enemy of isolation, and they want us isolated, us versus them. Don't come together, because then we'll realize what they're doing and what is happening from the top down. And it's always been from the top down. And then we'll start to push because we're aware. And so all these small moves come together to create a giant movement that they're not going to be able to stop. And they're going to try to mitigate it. They're going to try to diminish it by not letting us know about things like the dialogue group, people being hit by cars, protesters being hit by cars out by Delaney. All these little things, a 27-year-old black woman found hanging in Miami. And they're not going to let us know about these things. And so you and I, a part of our job, a part of our small forms of resistance, is just talking to people about that, showing up to protests, because it's inspirational and it's motivational for others. There are people who are still on the sidelines, and they want to kind of go about their day and hope things get better. And hope is not a course of action. You can hope, but it's not going to change anything if you hope that somebody does something to fix this. We all have to do our part, even in the smallest ways. And so go share content. Better yet, create content. Push the signal out so that others can see what is happening. We can't rely on the media institutions anymore. We can't. They're deliberately not showing us things at times. They're morphing things at times. This has to be a community that comes together and makes people aware of what is going on. And then what we can do about it. Protest. economic blackouts, you know, maybe more as needed to change the way that things are. There's a shit ton of money and a shit ton of motivation to keep that money that is going to keep us from talking to each other and from doing things that matter. And you have to push back against that. We're 330 million Americans just here, and there are a ton of them, 65% who don't like what is happening. That's a lot of human beings. That's a lot of human beings. And if they all do something, you can make your mission in life just having somebody else vote. You vote, just getting one person to vote. We had 90 million people sit on the sidelines. Just get them to vote. Every report will tell you the more people that vote, the more people that vote against the billionaires and corruption and human suffering. They do. Make your mission in life, twice every 4 years, midterms and in the general, to vote. Get one person to vote. You'll change the world. You'll change the world, either through voting or by other means. So it's the small moves. They don't seem very big, but they add up. They add up. And the powers that be, this operating system of white patriarchy supremacy, and I'm taking that from Jolly Good Ginger. I think it's very appropriate. They're going to make it seem like it's impossible and you're doomed, and you shouldn't resist. You shouldn't push back. And there are very few people with a lot of money, very few people with a big megaphone. And everything that we can do, our potential, our possibility, wipes that out completely by an order of magnitude. So it's small moves, but you got to take them. You got to take them, and hoping things will get better and not doing anything. It's not the right course of action. It's not the right path. That just won't work. Just has never worked and won't work. So little steps. Again, you may not think it means much, but it does. And if you can take a lot of them, even better. If you can take bigger ones, even better. But small moves, and always forward. All right, thanks.